before we begin, I should let you know the flag has a holy grail on it, mainly because I imagine a nomadic horde, especially a Catholic one, would probably have like a really significant religious symbol on it. I don't know why I imagine this, but yo, I'm just gonna add it because it looks cool. Next thing is the Chad Hugo the First is gonna aspire to be the next Genghis Khan because he's a 666. Why did I give him a 666 ruler? Because I just want to see what happens. First of all, I'm introducing a horde into Europe. Second of all, I'm giving them a good king, so I would really want to see what they can do. I want them to cause mayhem within Europe. Hopefully they do. And these are the government traits. I obviously made their culture Castilian, made them Catholic, made them nomadic, because for them to be a horde, they have to be nomadic. I couldn't help myself, so I just wanted to call them the Spanish horde. I don't want to be a liar, so I'm just going to cheat my way and integrate Aragon, and then I'm going to start the time lapse. Because I promised you guys a Spanish horde. We can't be Spain without Aragon. Now that looks amazing on the map. Before we start our time lapse, let's discuss the economy, the military. Speaking of their military, they have the second biggest military in the world behind the Ming Dynasty. Now to talk about the economic situation. The economy is pretty great for the Spanish horde. It's the seventh biggest economy, and I just expect it to get bigger as they expand. It's the year 1477 and the Spanish horde has fired off their first war. This war is to protect one of their tributaries. Obviously, let's just look at their tributaries right now. So their tributaries are Granada, Portugal, Genoa, Lucca, and Florence. That's more than I expected, but that's why they're in a war with Austria. So let's honestly see what happens with this war. Also, actually, now that we're here, I should show you more things. Looking at their economy has doubled since we looked at it before. But they're the ninth biggest economy in the world. Now let's look at the military. The Spanish horde has the seventh biggest military in the world, and Austria has the ninth biggest military. So I obviously think the Spanish horde is just gonna destroy Austria in this war. And who knows, they might even turn them into a tributary state. So let's see what happens. The war against the Austrians has resulted in a stalemate. As expected, it's the year 1482 and the Spanish horde has declared war on Morocco and Tunis. They're totally gonna just wipe them out. That's my prediction. Spanish horde has made the Moroccan war into a stalemate, so they can now handle their new war against France. France is obviously going to be a challenge for the Spanish horde because who knows, they might have their overpowered abilities already. The French army is the fifth biggest army in the world, 47,000 troops, while the Spanish have about 42,000 troops. If they have tactics on their side, the Spanish horde can easily destroy the French due to superior tactics in flat land. We all know the hordes have a major advantage when it comes to flat grassland. So if the battle's in the grasslands and the farmlands, Spain is gonna destroy France. But I don't know if they got their fancy dancy abilities. So let's just see how this war goes for the Spanish horde. Results of the war, obviously, the French just did a blitzkrieg on Spanish horde and they couldn't hold it off. They were fighting a valiant guerrilla warfare campaign against France, but that wasn't enough, and the French just wiped their entire army off, and that's why they lost some land to France. Just to see if the Spanish horde can come back from this. It's the year 1497. I've seen the impossible happen before. I can see the Spanish horde easily clapping France in like 100 years. So let's see what happens. The Moroccans, with the help of Tunis and Granada, have declared war on the Spanish horde. This is quite smart for the Moroccans because the Spanish horde hasn't recovered from the French War, which wiped out all their army. They are only at 50% what they were previously to that French war. So honestly, I hope that the Spanish horde can fend off this attack, but who knows? They could actually take a lot of land from Morocco if things go well. This is not a surprise, but the Spanish horde has successfully fended off the Moroccans. Let's just see what they do next. Right after the Genoan War ended, the French took the advantage and have declared war on the Spanish horde once again. But this time, the Spanish horde has help from Venice. Let's just see if they can win this one. The Spanish horde has left the entirety of Aragon due to fighting a war with France. I wonder how they're gonna come back from this because they look like a punching bag to France right now. No cap. My guess is that they're just gonna beat up on the North Africans. That's my guess. Spanish are once again at war with Austria. They can probably win this because the French are in this war too, so they're probably gonna win this easily. The Moroccans have launched a surprise offensive against Spanish horde, and this is genius because the Spanish horde is still getting their army back from Austria because I told you they were fighting a war against Austria. I have no idea what they gained. It's once again a stalemate because I have no idea why they fought that war, to be honest. But yeah, half their country's being sieged down, and I don't know how they're gonna come back from this. That's a lot. Granada's looking like they're gonna form Al Andalus, but like for the Spanish horde, this is bad because they only have one piece of land that's connected to a coastline, and that too is disjointed from majority of their nation. This is a critical blow because their economic potential has now gone down to the gutter because you need a coastline to obviously expand your economy. It's gonna be very hard for them to grow, mainly because they don't no longer have a coast. Let's honestly take a look at the colonies because if they have colonies, they might be able to come back. You never know. Taking a look at the colonies, only the Portuguese, the French, and the British have colonized anything, and the Spanish horde hasn't done a thing to colonize. So like they're in a really horrible position right now. It's the year 1600, and I think it's time to discuss the situation that the Spanish horde finds itself. The Spanish horde's only tributary is Galicia, and as you can see, they're allied with France, so they can't even invade their own tributary. It actually gets pretty worse. And let's go to Portugal now. You can see Portugal is allied with Great Britain and the Papal State. The Spanish horde is in no condition to fight an empire like Great Britain because again, they only have 42,000 troops. Yes, it's bigger than what they had when they were fighting the French the first time, but their economy is in decline. They have no room for expansion, and I don't see how they're gonna ever. It gets worse because Granada, the only saving grace for the Spanish horde, they can't attack because the Ottomans, who are the second biggest world power, is allied with Granada, so they can't even touch Granada now. Put the icing on the cake for the Spanish horde, the French have guaranteed their independence. So they're like a pseudo-vassal state to goddamn France. I know in EU4 they're not a pseudo-vassal state, but in real life, bro, They're a goddamn pseudo vassal state, and the French have so much influence over the Spanish horde. It's crazy. So I'm just gonna conclude and say this is a failed experiment. Like turning the Spanish into a horde, not a good idea. Pretty much was the video. If you have any suggestions for any other scenarios, please put them in the comment section. Bye.